days for Valve to get that all sorted. But they do have it, and so they take the items, they make them work, and then they go into the game. So you're going to have to wait a little bit on that. I was going to say something, I can't remember.
Let's go into the game.
Well, it wasn't that, but since I forgot what I was talking about, let's have our last game of day number 1. Please don't touch me. It's Alliance versus Sigma, and after that we'll get to go home, and I'm very hungry, but Dota first.
Ooh,
hey.
we did it.
That was a really weird transaction, because I'm still here, but okay.
You're kind of
Let me get you your chair, Andy.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Let me get you your glasses.
People at home don't know this, but we have these chairs.
Hey, Andy, if you need some glasses.
Thanks.
There you go.
Gets. Oh, they do. They switched it back. Okay. No, great. This is great. This is what I wanted.
Take a seat.
I can't take you anywhere. Look at how far away it is.
No.
No, you have to move me now.
Are you like, because you're so like tired and old, like if we didn't sit you down and move you, do you want to be a bit left or?
I'm not going to make it, man. All right, we're good.
We'll be back for your sponge bath in a bit.
Thanks, man.
Okay, don't shit yourself this time.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. The draft started, Lumi. We're a couple picks in now. It's Sigma taking on Alliance. I think pretty much everyone was in agreement that Alliance were likely the favorites here, but Sigma, they start themselves off strong with an Invoker pick, and we got a Bat Rider and a Bane to follow it up from Alliance.
So I know for sure that Migo as well as Effing Matt loves Bane. They think that it's one of the top tier supports that not many people is drafting as highly, and it's surprised to see them not get it. And I'm sure if Alliance, I think Alliance knows also that Sigma loves Bane. I think it's part of like, hey, you like Bane, we'll take Bane from you, that kind of thing. So they take Bat Rider and Bane. We've been seeing a lot of Bat Rider lately, and he's doing quite well.
It seems kind of weird because a while ago he just completely fell off.
Yes.
And he got the 10 base damage nerf, and just nobody ever wanted to play him at that point. But
and he got nerfed last patch correctly, right?
Did they
lasso
range? Lasso range, yeah. I think it went from like 180 to like 100 or something like that. It was a minute nerf, but it's still enough to feel it. But I have seen some pretty long lassos even since then, because it's how the clients interact with each other and the delay in the servers, right? So sometimes you can get lassoed and feel like you weren't anywhere close. I'm pretty sure there's a video of that somewhere. But either way, I do like Bane and Bat Rider because the amount of control that you get is crazy. Like you have Nightmare, Fiend's Grip, Lasso, just between the two heroes. It leaves you a lot of opportunities to take fights whenever you want. And I feel like Alliance as a team are exceptional when it comes to coordinating fights. I feel like that's how they're able to pick so greedy most of the time, because they can just, they outplay their opponents.
Right, so we talked about how Bat Rider and Bane is good at shutting down one particular hero with Lasso and Fiend's Grip. Remember in game number 1 when Fnatic drafted a Doom and you were saying, hey, if you have really a lot of Doom targets, who is he actually going to Doom? So I think one weakness of this particular opening for Alliance is if Sigma picks a lot of like high impact heroes, who are you actually going to disable? Because if there's too many to disable, you only have one Lasso, you only have one Grip, and that's going to be an issue. So right now, so far, Invoker is going to be priority number 1. But if Sigma picks, I don't know, like Lifestealer, for example, then that's going to be more and more things that Alliance have to deal with. Is that the way that you want to tackle against these two heroes? Or do you want to say, we're going to go with things like silences or stuns to basically cancel your Bat Rider or prevent the Grip?
You know, I've actually seen Fucking Mad playing Silencer on a stream. Okay. Even in a support role. So I definitely think that's something that's in their wheelhouse. Like if they wanted to go that route, they certainly could. But the issue that I have is that the only thing he really gives you is counter initiation and maybe the potential to win a lane. But that's only in situations where he gets a legitimate 1v1. I don't feel like as a pure support, he really functions that well because he needs a lot of EXP to really get to where he's going. I mean, you want Last Word maxed and you want your silence immediately, pretty much. But I don't know if they can really feel it here unless they pick some kind of carry that has a decent amount of impact. But heroes like Lifestealer are already banned out, and Naga Siren are as well. So those are two heroes that actually do very well with Silencer if you're going to lane them together, just because Silencer does good damage, and those two carries do decent damage and also have an inherent disable or slow. So he needs that kind of a backup. But Nyx is going to be the choice from Sigma, which I still think is very good against heroes like Bat Rider. Yes. This is what we saw Funnick doing earlier, you know, walking into the Firefly, being annoying with Carapace, and stopping lassos and things. So, Alliance, they're going to go Dazzle too. We've seen it once today. can it win 2 games in a row?
Now, the Dazzle of Na'Vi was kind of put into a very, very minus armor-centric strategy. So it's going to be very different compared to what we're going to see now. Also, throwing a couple of heroes out there that could also silence very well. Disruptor is actually pretty good in terms of dealing with both Bat and Bane. Thankfully for Alliance, they take that one out. I also think that Rubik fits into this draft very well for Sigma for his ability to steal the Fiend script, basically, guaranteed every time that Bane is scripting, as well as when Batrider is blinking in to grab one of your heroes, you could very quickly kind of lift him up and prevent that initiation. So if Sigma wants to go hard counter on those 2 particular heroes, they could go for that support. But for now, they have other things in mind, it seems, with maybe dealing Dazzle. Now they're going to go with Gyrocopter. So Gyrocopter known for picking up that BKB, but BKB doesn't really help you against any of these heroes.
Not really, no. It pretty much doesn't do anything. But what I wanted to say about this pick is it's pretty safe in the sense that no matter what Alliance pick in terms of their carry, because clearly that's going to be what the last hero is going to be.
Right.
I don't really see any clear-cut choice where it's like, oh yeah, that's totally good enough to where I feel you can go aggressive. Now, on the other side, they have a Bane, a Dazzle, and a Prophet, which means that they could, if they wanted to, turn it into like a potential quad lane. When Furion was picked a lot, that's what people used to say all the time, is it's really going to be a 4v3, if anything. So if they do that, that means that Bulldog would get a solo safe lane, and it would probably be S4's Bat, which I assume is going to be the case because S4 plays a freaking good Batrider.
Yeah, S4 always plays the Bat when Alliance drafts it.
Is this one of those games where they pick something funky like PA, or do they go Slardar? Because I feel like they need a carry who is actually very mobile to stay on these heroes.
Well, Slardar gets banned out, so it can't be that. I actually think that Alliance can go offensive trialing for the reason that you talked about, the 4v3, but it's actually 4v2 because Enchantress is not going to be there half the time. So I imagine Nyx Assassin is going to be the standard off lane here for Sigma. I just feel like Sigma's draft is very squishy in nature. Sure, Invoker and Gyro could get tank, but Enchantress, Nyx, these heroes, you could kind of pick them off quite easily.
They are a bit squishy, but I do think that they have a lot of control. And once Gyrocopter hits 6, you're going to have a lot of methods of slowing in a pretty wide area. I mean, you have Tornado, Nyx stuns, call down. The slow is actually a pretty big deal.
Yes.
Just being able to line it up like that. And I think the synergy between Invoker and Gyro is good because a 4-quas Tornado is like perfect timing for a Gyro ulti to land. Yeah. Actually, it might be... You might have to cast it like a half a second after the Tornado hits, but still, that's not really a big deal.
Sure.
So we'll see if they're able to make that actually happen. But for Sigma, I'm thinking they're looking at either an off-lane Nyx, and they'll probably be last picking a support, or maybe they just keep the Nyx bottom because they need some hero to stun.
Yeah, unlike the previous 2 games, we don't see really wonky drafts, especially for that Fnatic game. So very, very standard and somewhat predictable draft. Alliance mulling over their carry choice, which does have a very wide pull. Earlier, we were talking about his Tuskar that he brought out earlier in the Dreamleague in the last season. And obviously, he has things like PA, Phantom Lancer that he plays a lot, and the standard, Lifestealer and whatnot. So he's really, really thinking over it.
PA wouldn't actually, or excuse me, PL wouldn't be that bad here, to be honest.
It's just defensive lane PL.
Because the only lane clear that they really have for it is Gyro. But no, they're going to go with a Doom. So this is going to be a hard carry Doom, I would assume.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it just kind of happened. I'm sorry for the people listening. It's just I don't make puns intentionally like that. So just kind of.
You gotta point it out every time. Dude,
I just heard it. I heard it and I was like, oh god, I actually just did that. I'm from the bottom of my heart. I apologize.
Okay. So is Alliance actually weak against pushing? So they have Firefly as a way to clear wave, and they have the Rat coming in from Nature's Prophet.
I don't think they're weak against pushing.
Okay. I just they have no wave clear.
Well, you have Shadow Wave,
5 seconds
right?
remaining.
Firefly, you have Treants to put in front of towers, and you have Scorched Earth, which it doesn't sound great, but all you really have to do is pull the creeps off the tower.
Okay.
You don't really have to
eventually deal with the.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily kill the wave that fast because Sigma, wherever the Enchantress is where the pressure is going to be, and Prophet can be anywhere she is.
Okay. So we also saw Invoker earlier going for a Quaswex build. Do you think we're going to see something similar? In terms of the EMP actually will wreck Doom, Bane, Dazzle. These are heroes that really need their mana.
Well, not only that, but Bane's high mana cost too. Even though he's an it hero and his stat gain is pretty decent, he just one good EMP, it's 400 or 500 mana or something like that.
Of course,
it's
gone. Sigma draft with Tree.
I get it. But the bat also counters that hero.
Yeah.
Because if he blinks in, you can just overgrowth to stop the lasso. It's giving another target for the rider to kind of question his capability of initiation, which I understand that aspect of it, but at the same time, I feel as though they're spreading themselves pretty thin in the damage department. Like, they have to really rely on this Enchantress and Invoker to really do work.
Yeah, and of course, Gyrocopter to kind of fill the gap as well. I mean, past generally their support player seems like Migo is going to be going straight up off lane Treant. So this is something different. Normally when we see Treant, he's just AFK as a support, just living armor stuff. We're going to see Treant with level. Well, Paz is playing it. Paz is generally the support player.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could do a swap, I guess. But so far, no swap. It's going to be Migo. No, I take that back. Paz has a poor man shield.
Battle.
Okay, he sells it.
He's like, there's been some miscommunication, but yeah, we're inside of the game now, so we're gonna get to see how the lanes are shaping up. It's another smoke 5-man, this time on the side of Alliance. They're gonna be running towards what could, I mean, it could be Roche.
Oh, are they doing this? Yes, they are doing this.
Oh my goodness.
This is like standard straight up.
You know, this is really clever because this is a team where really the only thing that they have where you say it's a level 1 Roche
it's the Prophet.
is the Prophet,
Yeah,
right?
there's nothing else.
And it seems like it's almost too slow to be able to do, but they have Shadow Wave. So
Actually,
Ake
Shadow
can
Wave
keep,
does a ton of damage.
yeah, it does a lot of damage. It keeps everyone pretty much in fighting shape the entire time. And no one on Sigma has any idea.
You just don't expect it.
This is one of those games where you just look at it and you watch the replay and you're like, how did we not see this coming?
Well, I mean, it's very
It's not
understandable that
yeah,
this is coming.
that's what I mean though, but that's why it's so good by Alliance,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
their lineup is not one where you just, it doesn't scream level 1 Roche. They clearly can do it.
I think if you're playing against Alliance in the opening match of a particular tournament,
Roshan
it's a
has
guarantee check.
fallen to the dark.
Because they did this in China as well, and I'm sure they did this during the international group stage, I think. I remember like every match where Alliance plays in the first match of a tournament, they go level 1 Roche. It's such a, like a, obviously give your entire team level 2 plus 200 gold and all that, that's all nice, but I just think that there's such an emotional, not philosophical, like you just gain a mental edge when you get a level 1 Roche off like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the biggest part is now heroes like even Batrider, for example, he doesn't even have to skill a second ability, but just in case anything were to try to happen to him, he would be able to Firefly away.
Yep.
Top, you already have Scorched Earth and level 2 on the Bane, so his Brain Sap and Nightmare. There's just so many benefits that you gain from having a level up this early that normally this lane top where you see Gyro, you see Miguel, and you're like, they should be able to pressure this, but they could just leave Bane in the lane to do what he wants, and Loda just went to go eat a creep in the woods.
So what's your thought on actually offensive dueling here coming out from Sok as well as Migo? Now they're doing a little bit of harass here, but looks like a Nightmare's going to go off and that should be it.
Yeah, they can't really kill just because of the control that Alliance have in their safe lane, but it shows the damage potential between the two heroes. Leech Seed is known for being a pretty high damage spell,
Yeah, it
and it
actually is.
equalizes quite a bit of HP from the Leech that does. I think it's 4 ticks now, every level, so you get quite a bit of healing from that. But it's supplemented by the fact that Gyro's burst is crazy. So if you catch that hero out, it's very similar to how Rubik functions with Gyro, and you can get that damage dealt. So it is a very strong duel lane.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a smoke gang to make that killing combo a little bit stronger. Unfortunately, Enchantress doesn't have one of the better creeps. Her smoke runs out. She was able to get here undetected, but there's just really no good ganks here. I guess you could backstab mid. Funzy does have Cold Snap, one of the stronger ganking spell. But speaking of Funzy, maybe a little bit of trouble here as S4. Very aggressive.
8 stacks, man. 8.
Yeah. Is he thinking about going back in? There's Cold Snap. 9 stack. S4 is going to die.
Yeah, he just wants to pop the Aegis.
Okay. Which is not too bad of a trade, I guess.
Yeah, I think Funzy is honestly going to be happy with that. And he knew the Firefly wasn't going to be on after the Aegis was popped anyway, so there's really no danger of him going down in that situation. He had 10 wand charges the whole time. So, calculated risk taken, but I think getting the Aegis off, it's not really horrible for S4 because really what else are you going to use it on anyway? And he got a free heal, basically to full health, and he gets the rune.
Yeah, double damage rune, very nice. Enchantress kind of made a big loop around the world and now back into our jungle. It feels like Effing Matt has had not much impact, and to be honest, you're not going to gank the guy with the Aegis mid, but now the Aegis is gone. I imagine with the smoke coming from a courier, that mid lane is the next place that he's going.
It's still going to be hard to kill him though, just because all he has to do really, he has got boots already, and he's got bottle, and it's only 3 minutes into the game. So before the courier is even flying, he already has all that. Even if you get like a net or something like that, you're going to need more. And I think, yeah, they realize that. So they're just going to send the Enchantress top. So Bucking Mad is going to go gank try to maybe kill Loda, which I still think is going to be a tall order.
It's tough. I mean, it depends on what Akes have. Akes has 2 points to the heal, and they also have Nightmare as a defensive measure. In fact, they're actually thinking perhaps on going one of these guys. Yep, it's going to be on Sok. Sok. Well, there's Leech Seed giving them a lot of HP, and the Enchanter's coming in at a very good time, but they just don't have enough damage. They're going to try to get a kill on Bane, but Miguel being driven away, and that should be it.
Yeah, that was definitely not the way you want to engage. Having everyone able to just walk up to you straight away, I think it was a mistake that they didn't just bounce the Nightmare. Like, why not just attack him so he's not in a horrible position? Because they all surrounded him for the Shadow Wave, and they got a ton of damage off. Maybe it's just they're not experienced in playing against Bane. I really doubt that.
Miguel earlier did toggle the aggro. I think he was trying to cast the Leech Seed first and then go for the aggro toggle, but you know, Treant is not known to be a speedy demon.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Pretty long base attack time.
Well.
So still, really good start for Alliance. They secured themselves first blood. They managed to get Roshan before the creep spawn. Things seem to be going pretty well. See a Dispel there on double damage from Funzy. For all the new players at home, that does dispel many things.
It just feels like it's unfair right now at this point for Sigma. Sigma has to outplay Alliance so much more just to get rid of that level 1 Roche advantage. They're going to go right on the Batrider, but like you said, with the boots of speed, he is just outpacing
his Firefly wore off at a really bad time. I think he might still be okay, though. Ake was there to throw out a Poison Touch. Now Sakshika in a very interesting position. He's going to pop another Rocket Barrage, but coming in from the low ground, EGM, he might have a Brain Sap for this. Doesn't even need it, actually. Sake secures the kill with an auto attack. Teleport in from Bulldog as well. They want to go for fucking mad. There's a Centaur there. He's going to have to throw out the Stomp. Brain Sap lands, but the Nature's Attendants going to keep fucking mad alive. And S4 and Bulldog going to just go ahead and pull back with the rest of Alliance. That's 4 mid, man. This feels like one of my games. Just 4 mid, like, instantly.
Well, you talked about that, the profit being the ability to teleport wherever you want, but we just did not expect to be in the mid lane. We expected more on the top. Funzy getting a little bit of stack on him. He's, like, not moving. Okay, he's not lagged out or anything. A little bit of miscommunication from Sigma here as the Cold Snap went on one hero, the Centaur Stomp went on another. They weren't getting any kills. Alliance is just have more survivability, it seems like. With the heals and Brain Saps and Nightmares, it's tough to get any kills. And earlier we're slightly criticizing on
Miguel. Rest in peace, friend. That is impossible to deal with solo. Like, if you get Nightmared against that, you are just dead.
With a Poison Slow, with the body blocking in between, and then the 3-man surround with a Shadow Wave. Ake's not getting Grave. He doesn't need Grave. Nobody's dying on his team yet.
No, yeah, nobody's died. I find that still questionable.
Not getting Grave?
Yeah. Poison Touch level 2 comparative to level 1. Okay, you get 1 second of 66% slow, and the damage goes up by 6, and the cooldown goes down by 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Big deal. For 1 point, I can't ever see a scenario where Shallow Grave isn't better than that.
I mean...
Unless your team has never died.
Yeah, which... we can't follow him right now because, you know, it's not his fault.
Yeah, but... Yeah, okay.
I think it's more of like, don't try this at home.
Right.
Because it's not sure if the best thing. But in any case, it's working out.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Loda picks up a casual Vitality booster, by the way. And I say that's casual because he doesn't have a Ring of Health or anything. He just has a Vitality booster. And he's got 2 salves.
I think casual Vitality booster on Doom is probably one of the worst targets. Because by picking up armor, you get so much more effective HP. I'm not saying Loda's...
He's got a Wildkin, man. He's got armor.
Okay, there you go. Well,
3 armor,
I take that back. But in any case, I think there's a lot other items better on Doom. We saw, I think Trixie was it that got a Vanguard in game number 1, and we didn't really like it. In that game, there was a lot more minus armor and whatever else. In this game, we'll see what he turns that Vitality booster into. Anything?
It could just always be a heart later on in the game.
Sure, that's fine.
Like, as an item, it's still pretty cost efficient. 1100 gold for 250 health. It's not really terrible. Mid in the meantime, Pos, he's got Vendetta. He's going to pop it. Oh, he misses the Impale on S4. And he's also going to try to dodge the EMP. Unfortunately, not going to succeed. No one from his team really porting to help him out, but S4 feels just fine.
I think this is what you mean earlier when Alliance has greedier draft, but when they're individually so good, they can get away with things. Just
that
like
wasn't S4 being good, though.
Yeah,
that was just Pos messing up.
For example, the River fight where 4 hero defends on mid, descends on mid, and they get a couple of kills. Things like that really allows them to do like a Doom safe lane, which is not greedy in nature. Doom safe lane is actually quite okay. But look how farmed Loda is already at this point. FaZe, Vanguard. So what do you think about Vanguard in this particular situation?
When you have it at 8 minutes into the game, it's always going to be good.
Yeah, against a team that lacks damage, like you pointed out during the drafting stage.
Yeah, all they have is magic damage. So this is a hero, when he gets a few more levels, even if he wants to start fighting now, he can. He's got Doom. It's not like he's waiting on anything in particular. He's gone the greediest possible build as well, because he's gone Max Devour, hasn't even Max Scorched Earth. Maybe he wants to sit in the lane a little bit longer, make himself an early pipe, and just go kind of like team fight oriented Doom and tanky, and just walk into them. I mean, what did Sigma do against that?
Yeah, I think Sigma's really going to have to rely on that EMP Tornado and basically says, we can't really kill you, but to take away your mana and hopefully that you won't cast too many spells. And speaking of that, Funzy is getting okay-ish level on the mid lane, like he's not unharassed. They just drop a Nightmare on him in the mid lane, and that basically forced somebody to pop a TP to prevent that initiation from coming. And speaking of, you know, Sok, he's actually getting decent farm on the bot lane now, but they really, I don't think they just trade farm. They have to actually just get something done. Like getting a kill for the team would be a great way to start, maybe pushing down tower. So far, none of these objectives are being done. Effing Man in jungle, he's been there for a long time, not level 6 just yet. I feel like Effing Mad's effectiveness hasn't been really hit either. He hasn't done much.
It's kind of by design, though, at the same time, because once they saw how the lanes were shaping up, Bulldog goes bottom, he starts at level 2. How does that lane even really kill him unless he's horrendously out of position?
Right.
Because the Gyrocopter was top. So you don't have any damage, it's just a farming Nyx. So I'm not really sure what they expected to happen. They're giving a player like Bulldog, who's playing one of his more notable heroes, an incredible amount of room. I mean, he's 47 CS at 9 minutes in as an offlane Prophet, and they got Roshangled. So he's definitely had a very good start, and so is Loda. So the best possible scenario for Alliance is basically for this game.
Doom is going to lead the push here on the top lane. We talked about how perhaps Alliance lack counter push, or that's the question I raised earlier, but that's not the issue right now, especially when you're just charging down a tier 2 tower 10 minutes in the game. And the question is, Sigma, will they be able to deal with this? They do have a TP on Sok, and he is level 6, so cooldown is going to be a big deal. Looks like a DMP Tornado, but just the EMP alone is going to drive everybody back, and that will be it.
That EMP took 100% of Loda's mana. The only reason he has mana right now is because he had like 9 wand charges from earlier.
There's Arcane Boots, that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that's one thing that people kind of forgot, because Quad-Swept Invoker just it wasn't a thing for a very long time. It's like usually 1 or 2 pairs of Arcane Boots are a necessity when you're playing against that hero, because you're going to get hit by EMPs.
Yep.
It just happens. So having those to counteract it help pretty well. And I think it's core on Bane anyway, because his mana cost is just so high.
All right, they better get this kill up top here. It's going to be a 3-4-man smoke gank. And Miguel walks in with the lead seed. He could even use his ultimate if he wants. There's a Nightmare to slow things down. Ultimate being used. Not too much cost, but here comes the call down. It's going to hit on everybody. Looks like Bane's not going to survive. Doom coming in with the Vanguard, so he's going to out-tank. Tornado, EMP. Doom just doesn't care. Cold Snap is going to stop him from attacking. He's now on the run. Is he going to make it out there? No, he would not. They do get 1 kill with the Doom Dome. Bulldog is going to make it out. He's just so fast with that face boots.
I like how he TP'd behind 5 heroes just to auto-attack
and then made
Sakshka like 2 times, and then still didn't die. Like, I'm surprised they didn't see that and just all turn and like destroy him. But still, that was very questionable positioning right there. Like, EGM was so far up, and he knew that his team was sitting in the jungle at that point in the time. And they had a sentry ward in the lane, which is fine, and they saw the Nyx coming. He managed a Nightmare, which was great. But that was really weird.
Yeah, maybe they just underestimating Sigma's ability to rotate. I mean, Invoker got there very quickly with that phase boost, so they're doing pretty well. And the one thing that we haven't mentioned is that Trian, if you don't knock down those towers completely, he's going to be healing them back up. So that tier 2 top back at full HP, the tier 1 mid, you know, getting there. So Trian is going to be annoying, and he's showing it right now.
Well, second pair of Arcane Boots, so there's 2 now on the side of Alliance. Good counteracting that EMP. Another Roshan attempt. But I think this time, Sigma no. There's no wards here either. So there's no sentry to see. Oh, there we go. Just gets dropped. So
Funzy, Funzy's going to get lifted. Blink Dagger came out so quickly. The call down is going to hit though. Impel not hitting too much. Funzy's still alive. He's going to walk out of there. What's Reveal PO walking out alive? One right click and oh my god, what a snipe coming out from the Batrider. That's done, but Batrider goes down on the back line. Migo's on the run from Loda. Loda with phase boot, and he doesn't have a war stop or anything. There's a Doom on Migo just to finish him off. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, no, there's no more fight. Yeah, Loda's gonna get the kill, I think.
Everyone just casually backed off. Oh man.
Oh boy. TP? Once the Doom's over?
All right. TP. He's got 1 second. There we go. Oh my god, he's gonna live.
Oh, yep.
What a player.
Migo too good.
What a player. And that, friends, is why learning all the juke spots on the map is really important to Dota.
There is a lot of them.
Yeah, there's so many. But Alliance, I still think they have good positioning for this. There's no call down on the gyrocopter just yet. Actually, it's going to be every 1 second, so it looks like Sakshka will very easily have it for this engagement. But likewise, Alliance have Fiend's Grip right now. They do not have Lasso for another 30 seconds, and Doom's going to be down for a minute. But the tree was also sent back to base, so looks like they will not actually be going for Roche just yet. Bulldog used a TP top though, so he will have his regular skill teleportation to go back in if they see an opportunity to try to go for it. It's really interesting to me though, like, Funzy got caught out, right, with the sentry.
Right.
And
he didn't die.
Like, yeah, they didn't kill him.
I'm surprised that Doom didn't go on him.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised too, because you look at their team, who else are you going to do?
Right.
You don't Doom Gyro. You don't Doom Tree.
I guess you could Doom the Nyx before he...
Yeah, you could Doom the Nyx, but I think that Dooming the Invoker is always going to be the right call.
Yeah, you know, going back to the Doom, the Lasso, the Fiend's Grip, there's not many, like, things that you're dealing with. You're dealing with an Invoker, and in some cases, a Gyrocopter, so I feel for Sok. I feel for Funzy. Like, they're going to be on the receiving end of all these, like, single target hate, because I'm going to have a Wildgun scouting out the Roshan. Tornado, that's gonna hit. Call down, like you talked about. Oh, it looks like S4 takes a couple of barrage, but he's gonna be fine.
He's got 13 wand charges and a full bottle, so he's actually gonna go back in. Goes for the lasso on fucking Bad, pulling him right into the Roshan pit. Flame break to secure the kill. Looks like the rest of Sigma gonna be forced back. Can they continue this fight? They really want more. Miguel's gonna get doomed up here. Loda is extremely fast. He's got the haste turn, playing forward from S4. Should be a very dead tree. It looks like Funzy wanted to go for the denial, but a little bit too risky. He just ends up backing off. 2 down.
And I think that guarantees a Roshan at this point. Although they don't, again, have too much damage. The tier 1 mid's
alive.
Yeah, they don't have too much damage, so this Roshan's been regenning slowly. We have Enchantress coming back right now, and whenever a tree comes back, you could already aid his team from afar. So we're going to see Funzy perhaps chuck out a couple more EMP Tornado, considering that there is no Lasso anymore. And yeah, everybody gives up the fight. There is a chance that Sigma perhaps could steal it. Although they also don't have too much damage on their own department.
The one thing about this whole situation, though, that we have to keep in mind is that the team with the Prophet is always going to edge out the team without the Prophet.
Yes.
Because you're always able to split push. You know you can get to the fight whenever you want. And as soon as Paz goes missing, or 1 or 2 people go missing, you know you can just go back to the Roshan pit because you forced a reaction from somebody else. So if you see a TP, you just go back, you go to Roche with the rest of your team, and you secure it. So there's no way Sigma can really defend this unless they take a straight-up fight with Bulldog being there and win the fight, which unfortunately is not the case.
They give it up completely. Alliance gets a second Roshan of the game. Looks like Aegis is going to get picked up by Emerald Bulldog, which the way that he's been playing, minus well, he's also got like a casual bracer gaming going on just to make sure that he can make those backline TP without dying. He picks up the Shadow Blade, and the Rat has officially begun.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that hero, man. I'll be honest, pretty good.
Yeah.
I just think that it's interesting that he just bought a bracer. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him do that before.
Yeah, no, I thought he was like, oh, interesting, he's gonna go drums, but
yeah.
No.
Drums wouldn't necessarily be that bad, though. I mean, considering how much contribution he's trying to have with his team, like, he's at most engagements.
Yeah.
It's not just getting assists from ultis or anything like that. He's actually been at the fight. So in that sense, having that kind of efficient item slot that early on top of phase at Bassi makes your right clicks pretty substantial at that stage in the game. But like you said, he opted to actually just go straight into the Midas and then the Shadow Blade, which is pretty typical. And I like the fact that they actually gave him the Aegis, because he's the one who has to make the risky plays.
Yes.
Anytime he's in a lane pushing up near tier 2, Paz could very easily try to go for him. They could have Funzy initiate on with Tornado or something like that. And he's the one who's most likely to be in a spot to die.
Yeah, he's also a very high value target. You want him to pick up that Scythe of Ice a little bit later on, or would it be Necrobook? Whatever expensive item. I mean, Batrider, in my opinion, is almost done. Like, once he gets his 4-staff, his items is pretty much set. Obviously, he can get better with things like Future Travel, Mask of Madness, or whatever else, but unless it's going on Doom, it's going on Emerald Bulldog. Looks like a Rocket's going to fly at Bulldog and drive him away a little bit. You know, the game is very calm, but I think a calm game also favors Alliance, which their heroes works a lot better with gold. When you have Doom, you know, such a tanky frame, as well as Emerald Bulldog being basically everywhere he wants to be, especially with a Scythe of Ice pickup a little bit later on. He's going to be giving you a higher impact, in my opinion, than a Gyrocopter and Invoker would gold.
I totally agree. It's the dynamic of the team, because Sigma have a team that essentially functions as a 5-man squad. They have Invoker and Gyro for great team fight. Tree and Nyx kind of lend themselves to that. And then a damage dealer and Enchantress, which is obviously going to be strong. But they kind of play one way. They play together. If Paz leaves, then that's down a very, very crucial stun that Sigma don't really have any way of replacing. Like, Overgrowth doesn't really count as that good of a stun. It pretty much just holds people in place. And if he's trying to hunt the whole game, and speaking of hunting, S4 is going to find poor Sakshka pulled to the other side of the river, and Fiendscript on top of that. He's still actually stuck inside of it. Even gets Doom double stun in the meantime coming out from Pos. He wants to go for Ake. He's still got Grave up. Gets stunned by his own Shadow Wave. In the meantime, it looks like Sakshka will eventually fall. The Overgrowth, it hits on 3. Miggle, realizing that he does absolutely no damage to Loda whatsoever. They want to keep going. S4, he's going behind the tower. Very aggressive blink. There's actually 3 stacks on 2 members right now, Sigma, and 5 on Funzy, but it's going to be a buyback from Gyrocopter. He TP's back to the tier 1, immediately gets enfeebled. The Aegis is popping in the meantime. Bulldog, he is in a terrible spot, going to be dropped down. Tornado, they want 2 more. They're going to catch both Ake and EGM. The Urn pop, he's trying to regen as much health as he can, but Sakshka really wants to keep going on this. The Nightmare is going to be there. Looks like Matt actually dies to S4 in the back. There's 2 fights going on simultaneously right now as S4 is flying across the river back to his side of the map. This has got to be one of the most awkward team fights I think I've ever seen, and S4 has no intention of backing off.
By the way, S4 has Lasso, and almost soon the fight began with Lasso, and I think it's going to continue with Lasso. There's a rocket driving him away right now. He has Blink, he has Force F. He might just take the stun and just go right back whenever his team is ready. Maybe in a couple more seconds once Admiral Bulldog's back alive. So I don't think this fight is officially over yet. You got to keep in mind that Gyrocopter had to use his buyback to continue this fight. So I think Alliance...
Oh man, he got a haste.
Oh, it's going to happen soon.
Oh, what a nice tornado attempt. He doesn't actually get the dispel on the haste during now. He could be no, he misclicked. He misclicked.
Even S4 misclicked, guys.
He didn't hit the lasso. Oh, that was a guaranteed kill, man. Like, guaranteed kill.
He could go back in. He could go back in.
Yeah, he's got Blink in 1 second. Does he want to do it? I think he wants to get Funzy because he blinked, like, obviously really far in. And there's that Batrider nerf, man. It was either a misclick or he wasn't close enough, which I guess it could be either because lasso ranges. I mean, look at that. Just hover over the skill. It's tiny.
It should be tiny, although sometimes we see some of the dumbest, range of lasso we've seen. Which, by the way, if you're playing Batrider against a team that has a Nyx Assassin, normally the normal playstyle of Bat is you Firefly, you blink in, and you just grab somebody and pull back. Would it be correct to say that if you're playing against the Nyx Assassin, you don't want to use your Firefly?
I think if you have a Force Staff, you can get away with not using it because you can use the Force Staff to like get over a ledge and then Firefly after to get at the second ledge. Like say you were pulling somebody across the river mid and you just happen to hit them and they weren't on the ramp. I think that would probably be the right thing to do because that way you don't need the Force Staff to escape and you know you're not going to get stunned because Nyx can't get to the low ground to stand in your Firefly.
With that said though, Firefly does give you flying vision, which is a very key component of him like finding people. So.
Yeah, but they also have a high ground ward mid.
He's Fireflying over to see Enchantress now. I think they do see Enchantress with the ward, but they're not going to go for it. Yeah, they're going to trade towers. I think. No, they're going to defend.
No, they're going to defend.
Yeah.
I like this movement though from Alliance. It seems like they're pretty concise. That one little mechanical mistake from S4, stuff happens, right? Yep. Can't really fret too much on that, but they have plenty of time to get back towards mid. They don't even have to TP.
Sigma's got it back right now. They have a huge, they have a 4-man weave on these heroes, and they're losing a ton of armor. They can't. Oh no! Here comes S4. He does not misclick this time. Dodges the impale. They're gonna drag Mango back, but Mango's gonna pull off his ultimate. I think. Where's the ultimate? There you go. It's only a 1-man ultimate. They are gonna get the bait. No, they're gonna Nightmare as well. Meanwhile, the back of the team fight, Loda comes in, doing a lot of damage to Mango. Why are you killing the tree? It does not matter. All right, he's gonna be okay. I think. No, Mango's gonna die, but. That's not really a much loss.
Well, it depends on if they get the tower off this or not, because if they get the tower, then it doesn't matter what hero they kill. It's just a matter of them getting the tower, because the more map control Alliance have, the better it's going to be. Anytime you have a Prophet, a team can be said that the more towers you have, the better off you are, because there's more room to work. And Pos is looking for initiation here. Maybe potentially going on Bulldog. He's walking forward. There are no sentries down here, by the way.
Oh, looks like he turned around just the wrong time here. S4 on the back line here. Where's the spike? He's going to spike on the fire. There's a impale, but looks like on the backside here, Bane has already got a 1 kill. Sock dropping low. He's going to be dead to another flame break. And it's going to be a full retreat for Sigma, but he can't really retreat from a Batrider. The team fight's over. The tier 1's going to go down. And like you said, whenever you get these towers, especially for a hero like Prophet, it is a golden opportunity for us for more.
I just want to say, fucking Mad was standing there at the tower, and EGM just casually walks in and brain saps him to kill him. Like, he wasn't even under any fire other than the one hero, right? And he just ended up dying there, so that's unfortunate. And I believe that was the second death after the buyback for Sakshka, so he's actually dead for a longer period of time right now.
Yes.
Which means that this tier 2 is actually taking quite a bit of damage, so All in all, I would say that Alliance pretty firm hold on this game.
Yeah, they definitely cannot get defend this tier 2. If Alliance want to push high ground, they still have Flaming Lasso. They see Migo, Blink, Lasso, Drag Bag, and yep, he's dead.
Well, this time they killed him a lot quicker.
Yep. Last time he kind of danced around the team fight, wasn't even able to drop off ultimate. Fortunately for Alliance, they didn't hit too much.
Yeah, this is the point where
GG
oh
well
yeah,
played.
20. Yeah, I honestly don't blame them at all.
It's not early GG.
I don't think it is either.
They're out of it.
Because what really are they going to do during the late game? When these heroes, especially on the side of Alliance, start getting BKBs, like if Doom decides to get one, I mean, I don't think he has to. He was actually going AC after the Shiva's pickup, but they just got so outmaneuvered and outplayed in the beginning of the game that I don't really think there was any hope for them coming back. Like, all their tier 1s are dead. They hadn't taken any of Alliance's towers at all. Like, they just got completely dominated.
I don't like Tree, man. It just doesn't add very much to your team. Lacks damage. Once the Vanguard came out on Doom, it just felt like they just didn't have enough to bring him down.
I think it was a really good idea for Loda, actually, to go for the full tankiness build, just in hindsight, because no one else on the team of Alliance really can just go with that whole walk in and tank a bunch of damage kind of a strategy. But with him, all he has to really do is be close enough to Doom the Invoker, and then it's irrelevant what else he does during the fight. He doesn't need to pick up anything like a mech, because he already has, I think actually Ake is going towards that, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's actually going Force. So they didn't even need a mech, apparently. They could have had one. EGM at 3,300 gold.
Better than mech?
Don't need mech when you have Shadow Wave, but I don't know. In my eyes, I think the draft from Alliance was a little bit better. Well, I saw Sigma's fighting potential, but they just had no damage.
How much of that was the level 1 rush? Because let's not forget, that's a huge part where everybody got level 2 and then all the lanes snowballed and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the level 1 Roche was definitely a problem.
Yeah.
And S4 able to suicide to win his lane and basically just go back to full HP. Yeah. No, I agree that the level 1 Roche was a good call, but still.
We're watching the throne not dying. That's cool.
I thought when you called GG in a game, it just ended it.
Radiant's middle barracks
Which
are
they did.
under attack.
Okay.
So that's... Yeah, Loda earning them points right now.
Alright, totals, let's see. Alright, so EGM has 8.5.
Radiant's middle barracks are
And
under attack.
Loda has 8.5 as well. Hit F8. Boss.
Radiant's middle barracks
F8.
has
Come
fallen.
on, fantasy cheaters!
Not F9, F8. Alright, whatever. I don't have anyone in this game. I don't know. Wait, who has Loda on their team? Lumi, you have Loda, right?
Yeah, I have Loda.
Alright, unbelievable.
I have.
You know, I feel like it's a waste at this point because Lumi is just crushing Bruno so hard into the ground
Yeah,
that
it
it just
doesn't
doesn't matter.
Tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Hey, it's still 1 point. 1 point is 1 point.
They're all going to go for this last hit tower. They're the dying to kill it. It's pathetic.
Wow. Loda got a
Professional players, huh?
Professional.
I saw
nightmaring
that.
each other.
Radiant's
They don't
ancient is
fucking
under
EGM
attack.
is nightmaring S4 on purpose. Because Shane picked EGM. He got
Needs to
fired.
heal. He's using the urn to get more healing
Radiant's
points.
ancient is under
Oh
attack.
my god. That's pretty good.
Alliance victory.
God damn it, I'm a bulldog.
He tried his best, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think it affected it very little. I think there was like a 1 point discrepancy across the board at the end.
Yeah.
All right, I guess our mics are on because we're talking.
I think so, yeah.
I hope so. It
I
would have
can
been
hear
really
myself.
weird if we were just talking to ourselves that whole time.
Yeah.